A few moments later.
A personal guard are posted here, here, and here.
Arcane is up there with Spider-Verse when it comes to almost perfect pieces of media. Well, at least the first season. Arcane's fallen from a 9.5 out of 10 to more of an 8 out of 10. It's hard to follow up the original, but Spider-Verse did it, so it's possible. My main problems with Season 2 mostly stems from these three characters. And my problem mostly comes from Act 2. I think Act 1 did a fantastic job of picking up where Season 1 ended. It's just, now that we're getting closer to the series finale, Arcane's starting to show little cracks in its writing. Caitlyn was one of my favorite characters in Season 1. I mean, here, look at the Season 1 tier list. I can prove it. She felt like one of the most human characters in a cast full of fleshed out and fully developed characters. She was an amazing foil for V, and I loved their relationship.
Get up, guys! You can have your
Yuri
moment later.
And I was really excited in Season 2's premiere when it looked like she would be playing a bigger role than she had in Season 1. And even more hyped by the end of Act 1 when it looked like she'd be playing one of the main antagonists. This felt more like a natural and exciting turn for the character, and I think it would have been able to play in the themes of Arcane, having her almost act as like a Piltover version of Jinx, acting out of hate for the other side. But then, oh, one little cupcake and it's all over. Caitlyn didn't have to be the final boss of this series. They could have still had her flip back episode 6, but episode 4 and 5 should have really focused harder on how Piltover and Zahn have been affected by Caitlyn's rule. Like, big character moments are just brushed over. Like, I don't even think we got a reaction shot of Caitlyn being saved by Jinx. You know, the person that killed your mom, the whole reason you became the ruler. And even with half the cast being gone, it just still felt really rushed. In the finale, I'm really hoping one of them dies for the other's sake. It's gonna be a real awkward Thanksgiving otherwise. It would have been really nice to see the whole other half of the cast react to Caitlyn's rule. I mean, can you imagine if Mel was still there? Her friction with Mbessa acting as a shoulder angel and devil for Caitlyn? It could have been golden. But instead, Mel is stuck off in spin-off land. I think Mel being essentially written out of Act 2 is a real shame. It doesn't help with the blow that this Black Rose plot point seems kind of like something not set up for the finale and more being set up for a spin-off series that they're going to make eventually. I don't even think Mbessa is competent on her daughter's disappearance. Like, hello? It just seems to me like the writers could have told a better story if they were willing to drop a couple of plot points. Like with this one, and another one I'll talk about later. I talk about Mel being essentially written out, but like half the cast is gone. It looks like when during high school COVID happened and they had to split the grade into A to K and K to Z. Echo and Heimerdinger are just gone. And I love Heimerdinger. He reminds me of hamsters and how they die those sad traumatic deaths. But no, they disappeared into nothingness right next to Mel. They fell in the Undertale core, I guess. And Jace is too busy to be relevant because he's preparing for his big solo at the end of Act 2. I know this whole scene is controversial in the fandom right now, because it's really a coin toss in how intentional this kill was. Because Jace is clearly not thinking straight. I'm almost to you! Chill! All I'm gonna say is that I'm disappointed they didn't paint a clearer picture on why he did it, because it leads me to just feel a little lost when the dramatic moment happens. The people flopping over felt perfectly spooky though, I wouldn't change that for a thing. Okay, fine! This one is more of a personal pet peeve more than anything else, but when the Smurf movie came out, not the live action one, the animated one, I remember being pissed at the ending. It ended with Smurfette dying and everyone's crying, oh, poor Smurfette! And it was this big thing, but then she magically came back to life and everyone's so happy. Now, of course, how Smurfs and Arcane tell their stories are a little different, I think. But I can't help but feel like every story these days wants to have their cake and eat it too. Vander dying was the whole catalyst of the story, and his absence shaped both our main leads. So for him to just come back, I can't help but feel like it weakens and cheapens everything just a little bit. And now with Revival being brought into the universe, death will never hold the same level of weight it once did. When they kill another major character, in the back of my head I'm just gonna be like, okay, but she can just be revived. You could make the argument that Vander's revival was under like a unique set of circumstances, but if it's possible in the universe, it just kind of ruins it for me. Hopefully they brought him back for a good reason. We're just gonna have to see in the finale though. At the end of the day, I hope it ends like one of those TikToks.